Walker, Season 1, Episode 16, Bad Apples. At the start of the episode, Cordell and Liam talk while Cordell is outside sanding down some rocking chairs, and they both talk about their professional lives and where they are headed in their professional lives. Captain James, Mickey Ramirez, and another group of Rangers make a huge drug bust in Austin. When apprehending the suspects in the group, they realize a dirty cop is involved with the drug ring. Officer Campbell is the dirty cop, and he is the one at the center of the drug ring. Campbell doesn't spend any time in jail as his lawyer is able to secure his release because his lawyer claims he is really undercover in the drug ring, and he is back out on the street just like that. Just before leaving the Ranger headquarters, Campbell sees Captain James's son, DJ. Later on that evening, at the Sidestep bar, Walker catches up with James and DJ when they stop by. The trio is shocked when they discover that Campbell has apparently set the captain's car on fire, labeling him a traitor. Scaring James and his son, James asks Walker to take his son home. James and Mickey talk about the incident, and James urges Mickey to stand down and to let him handle the matter. Captain James brings her in, and he reveals that he and Liam are working together on a sting operation to bust the whole ring of dirty cops and drug dealers. Later on, Trey and Mickey are at home, and Trey receives a letter which says he's been accepted into medical school, but he is not sure that this is the path he wants to take. Liam finds out his ex, Brett, is still in Austin, and he goes to try to make amends and tell him the truth about what happened when he and Captain Larry James were in Mexico. But Liam finds out Brett has moved on with his life and has a new partner. Liam understands, but he leaves Brett's place heartbroken. Trey goes out to Walker's ranch and rides horses with him around the ranch and confides in Walker about what is going on and how he is feeling. Trey expresses his own doubts to Walker about his career path and professional future and about moving forward with medical school. Walker assures him to trust his own instincts, and regardless, Mickey will be supportive. Stella is doing some campaign work for Liam at their ranch house when James and his son DJ drop by for a visit. As Walker and James talk outside, DJ goes in and talks to Stella and helps her with the campaign work she is doing, and he invites her to go on a tour of the University of Texas with him tomorrow. She gladly agrees. The next day, DJ and Stella tour the University of Texas campus. While with Stella, DJ is pulled over by Campbell, who plants drugs on him to initiate an arrest and bring him in as Stella watches, horrified. As James picks DJ up, his son vents his frustrations over being targeted by the cops. Dirty cops, for that matter. Later on that evening, Stella and August convinced their dad, especially after what happened with Stella and what she saw and went through earlier, that he needs to rejoin the Rangers. With Stella giving her father the video she covertly filmed of DJ's arrest before he is officially sworn back in. Captain James confronts Campbell at a local diner just as a news report airs the incriminating footage, and James presenting an arrest warrant. Walker and Ramirez help James out in apprehending Campbell. They both proudly watch their captain bring in the dirty cop. The next day, Larry James and his son DJ go back out to Walker's ranch and just hang out with him and Stella. After the events regarding the dirty cop Campbell, Liam learns his boss has decided to quietly serve out the remainder of his term as district attorney at home in the wake of Liam going over his head to the Texas Attorney General to obtain an arrest warrant for Campbell. The move reinvigorates Liam's electoral campaign for district attorney. Even though Brett has moved on with his personal life, he decides to join Liam's campaign. Trey decides to pursue a career in psychiatry instead of as a surgeon with Mickey's support before the group celebrates back at Walker's bar. And that is how Walker, Season 1, Episode 16, Bad Apples, ends. This was an episode I'd been waiting for since the end of Episode 13, Defend the Ranch. There's one thing I was not expecting with this episode, and that was it had some ominous real-world events that have been seen recently in the news in different parts of the United States, which has to do with dirty cops. That part of the episode I did not like because it was just all too familiar, especially right now. Now, with that said, don't get me wrong, I fully support all police departments and what they do and all law enforcement, but I have no sympathy for dirty cops. But the other parts of the episode were really good. I love the parts of the episode where Mickey Ramirez and Captain James were hot on the trail of Officer Campbell. Then there was the most important part of the episode where Stella and August convinced their dad that he needs to return to the Texas Rangers, which he does. Walker does return to the Rangers, and he, Captain James, and Mickey Ramirez and a whole group of Rangers help take down Campbell. It was great to see Walker finally return to the Texas Rangers, though I thought it would be something really, really bad to bring him back and not just the video that Stella took of the dirty cop doing what he did to Captain James's son. I thought it would be something like a terrorist attack or maybe even an accomplice or something else regarding Emily's murder that would bring him back. I like that Trey was honest with himself and honest with Mickey about not really wanting to do medical school. I like how Mickey is very supportive of his decisions. I was wondering if any time during this season if Liam was ever going to come clean to Brett and tell him the real truth about why he broke off their relationship and engagement. He finally did in this episode, and he tried to make amends, but he sadly found out that Brett has moved on with his life and is seeing someone else. But it was great to see that they could still be friends and still work together. With all that said, I'm going to give Walker Season 1, Episode 16, Bad Apples, a B-. This was a good episode, but the trailer preview for it made it look like it was going to be more action-packed than what it was, which I thought was disappointing. So there are only 2 more episodes left of this first season, and I'm anxious to see how they're going to wrap up the season and if they're going to set up something and leave us hanging until the first episode of Season 2, or if they're just going to end and then start anew at the beginning of Season 2. Okay, that's it for this video. Thank you all so much for watching. I'm going to say good night. God bless. I love all of you, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye-bye.